Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Oilersnation After Dark. Connor Halley with you here. Going to recap the Oilers' 5-1 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights in Game 2 of their best-of-7 series second round. Who knew? Derek Ryan, what a difference maker. Inserted back into the lineup, and the Edmonton Oilers find their way. We'll be joined by Liam tonight on the show. Of course, you can catch him Oilers Nation, a big part of our program here on Oilers Nation After Dark. And then we also know him from Oilers Nation Every Day, which you can watch on YouTube, Facebook, all the Oilers Nation's platforms. I can see lots of people in here already. Corey, Jennifer, Jonathan on Facebook enjoying the game so far, or the series so far, I suppose. I guess it was the game. Katie, what a game. We've got Chris, Daniel, Jake, Tyson, Kylie, and Balmer, Rusty. We've got Mark. We've got QF Pro. I think another Chris in here. A lot of you guys enjoying it. Make sure you hit that like button if you're on Facebook and YouTube, and let's blow up the comments section. As many comments as we can get tonight. As many, for every Oilers goal, let's try to get 100 comments. How about that? A nice 500 even number. Before we get to the good, the bad, the oily, got to thank our sponsor, Boston Pizza, and their new playoff menu powered by Fanalytics. Just amazing stuff here. Some stuff, I know I'll be checking out. I talked about it already, the triple play. That looks like an unbelievable assortment of delicious snacks, perfect for watching the Edmonton Oilers. The deep fried pickle wedges, not my thing. Might still give them a go just because I love Boston Pizza. So shout out to Boston Pizza, title sponsor here for Oilers Nation After Dark. And before we get into it, though, just very quickly want to pass along our thoughts to all the people affected and impacted by the fires going on in our province. I hope that for the Oilers, they were able to provide some people with a little bit of a distraction, and hopefully we can do the same here tonight on Oilers Nation After Dark. It's tough. It's scary to see, so we just want to say we're thinking of you, and if there's anything going on, fundraisers, ways to help out, let me know on Twitter at Connor Halley. Happy to retweet, happy to try to get involved, because just a terrible situation with what's going on in our province, and hopefully we can get some rain sooner than later. All right, let's get into it. We'll start off with the good, the bad, the oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance. Oh, look at that crisp new font. Cornerstone Insurance Brokers, Edmonton's premier boutique insurance brokerage with over 90 years of success and still growing. Visit cornerstoneins.ca/nation to get an online tenant or condo insurance quote in just a few minutes and use the discount code NATION for an exclusive rate. Find out why Cornerstone Insurance Brokers are ranked amongst the best in Alberta. All right, let's bring in the man, Liam, who's keeping us on track. He's doing double duty here. He's running two computers to make this happen. Liam, good evening. How you doing?
I'm good, Connor. Yeah, I've got things locked down here. I currently have 4 screens in front of me, so nothing can go wrong tonight, knock on wood.
Oh, I got a little notification that we had some connectivity issues in the beginning of this. I think it was my side, but we're hoping for smooth sailing. If I disappear, Liam, I know the show is in good hands.
Yes, I have hosted one show once, so I'm fully qualified to do it if we need to do it again, Connor.
It's like riding a bike. I quickly touched on some of the fires going on in the province right now. Obviously, a super scary situation. A mark on Facebook. There's Ontario firefighters getting out there, and it's one of those situations where obviously we're going to find them, bring them all together. Like, people are going to come here to try to help out, and it's just it's a shitty situation. But Liam, you're out in Sherwood Park. You said smoke even kind of starting to impact you guys.
Yeah, it was kind of weird yesterday. I guess, you see these forest fires and grass fires all the time, right? In like BC and like the Okanagan area, and obviously Fort McMurray not too long ago in Alberta too, and plenty other areas, but you never really expect it to be so close to home. And yesterday it was like, I think maybe a 5-10 minute drive away from my house, 5 minutes down the highway. So yeah, quite frightening stuff. And kind of what you said, Connor, if there's any fundraisers or anything that needs to be done, just feel free to tag me on Twitter or anything too, and I'll see if I can help or retweet in the smallest matter too. But yeah, it's scary stuff. So yeah, thanks for everyone who's out there trying to put these things out and keep everybody safe.
100%. Hopefully, we can be a little distraction for the Oilers fans
Mm.
that might have been impacted here tonight. We'll get into it. Liam, the good for the Edmonton Oilers tonight after that nice 5-1 victory. Series tied it to a piece. Full team effort. And top to bottom, if a player wasn't scoring goals, he was forechecking hard. If he wasn't forechecking hard, he was providing a physical impact. If he wasn't doing any of those things, he was the goalie and he was Stuart Skinner and he was making big saves when he had to. It was pretty much the perfect rebound game for the Edmonton Oilers tonight.
Yeah, literally, like you said, like everything just seemed to go well for them. The game plan seemed perfect right from the get-go, and the Oilers went out there and let the Vegas Golden Knights just wasn't going to be an easy series for them, and they just capitalized on everything, right, and just continued to just fight their way around it and just continue to put on the pressure from there. So yeah, just a great game all around from the Edmonton Oilers, and something that I think the team should be able to take a lot of momentum from and continue on into Game 3.
Fighting Amish to say, Connor checking in from Maine. Enjoy that Oilers win. Yes, Maine, very cool. Maine, they got some college out there. I don't want to. Let's not get into it. I'm going to mess it up.
The Black Bears, I believe.
That it? That's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to butcher it. So thank you for being there. If you're watching on YouTube right now, make sure you hit that like button. Facebook as well. Liam, you talked to me about it earlier on. 2 bananas today. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
One
just
for
2
pleasure.
needed. One was for pleasure later on in the game, but the one was before the game. And I was a little bit stressed going into this one. And I will admit, and I did this in Game 1 against the LA Kings too, and I'm disappointed that I did it again. But I was a bit too casual in Game 1. I wasn't committed to my banana bit. And I think it was just because I was very frustrated by the Oilers for the most part. But today I didn't let it get by. I got my banana in before the game, and then later on managed to squeeze another one in. And we all got to play a role here, Connor, if the others want to keep going as far as we expect them to go. So everyone's got to play the part.
Yeah, everyone has a direct impact into what happens with this team. So do what you have to do.
Yep.
Keep up the things you did tonight, and it should be smooth sailing here on out. 100%. Nothing else will change that. The bad. With the good comes the bad. We have to get to something. First thing that came to mind for me, Liam, was oh no, the spoiler alert. No shutout. Okay, so first thing that came to mind for me was Vegas's jerseys. I mean, those things to me are just horrendous. I'm glad they didn't go with a gold bucket because that makes it even worse. Like, it reminds me of either a carpet from the 70s or a couch or something, but we didn't go with that. We went with the no shutout. Barbashev, man, he's had a good start to the series for the Vegas Golden Knights. 3 goals already now. A guy who, depth scoring. Weird goal tonight. But, on a night like tonight, that's pretty much it. Stuart Skinner was fantastic, just couldn't get the shutout.
Yeah, it seemed like it was going to take a bit of a weird goal to get anything by him, right? It's like, I think the goal had already happened, but the save he made where he kind of sprawled across and got his glove to it, like Skinner was dialed in when they needed him. And yeah, Barbashev has had a good start. The guy knows where to put his stick and get into lanes and all that kind of stuff. He's a very good player, and he seems to be working the value that Vegas paid. I think it was a first-round pick, right? So he's paying off a little bit. But yeah, the shutout, we're all thinking it. No one said it in my house. I don't know what happened at your place, Connor, or anywhere else. But maybe next time we can grab that one for Skinner. But also, shout out to the guy who wore the Jonathan Quick jersey in the Vegas Golden Knights stands tonight, and he wasn't even the backup goaltender.
Not even dressed. What is going on with that one? Jessica, she's with me. She agrees. Those gold helmets, not good. Jennifer says, best was hearing let's go Oilers from the fans. Yeah. The Oilers fans represented for sure. Yaremchuk, Jay, Beg Milk down there via AMA Travel, getting them down there. AMA Travel does a whole lot of great things. I actually was there on Friday picking up a wedding license. What an experience that was. Nice. But I started looking at their packages for cruises. They got great vacations. Of course, they provide insurance. You can do it all there. And they're really friendly when you walk in. They put you exactly in the right spot. So if you're going to plan on a vacation, we do know this game will go back to Vegas. AMA Travel can get you there. They can hook you up with the currency. They do all that for you. And right now we saw Yaremchuk and crew out there in Vegas, their experience powered by AMA Travel. Yaremchuk got on TV. Pretty cool moment for him, I think.
That might be my favorite video of all time. The fact that lady was just punching the air behind him, and Tyler looked so scared to turn around, and he didn't. It's just an all-time moment. And Tyler just gets caught in those moments where he doesn't realize, and next thing you know, he's a little meme on the internet, and I love it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like, people freaking out and he's just locked in. Like that's the mentality. Locked in, good to go. Okay. Sorry for just jumping towards AMA travel, but they hooked the guys up and they're having a great time as you follow Oilers Nation across social media. Instagram, the stories have been fantastic. The food looks great. Bagged milk, I think you had a nice little win. So things are going good for the boys down in Vegas. Okay, let's get to the Oily. We teased it earlier. The Oily tonight, as we're in the good, the bad, the Oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance, winning game 2, and it's just kind of what they've done. We have it pretty well documented. They haven't won a game 1 since the Ducks in 2017. We know what happened in that series. Don't need to get into it, but they've had this little tradition where they lose game 1, but as far as we've seen, for the most part, they bounce back pretty strong in game 2.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because I think we all kind of have that debate in ourselves internally. Like, why is it that they just can't win game 1? Like, what is it about? And people were saying, oh, it's because they're changing opponents. But every other team in the league does that too. The Vegas Golden Knights did that and still beat us. I don't know what it is. It just feels like such an Oilers thing. It was like how forever they would just never ever score the first goal in the game. Well, do you remember that little streak? It might still be happening, to be honest. It just
It
kind
was
of faded
awful.
out. It just seemed like, man, they could never do it. And this is just the most Oilers thing ever. They just don't win game 1, but they come in guns a-blazing in game 2 and just take the series back into their hands. And Tyler always says this, and I think it's Bob McKenzie that says it too. Like, momentum truly doesn't carry from game to game. But there's maybe a little bit that helps, especially after what the Oilers were able to do with the puck in the back of the net and the sticks and their fists as well. It was just all around just a very positive game for the Edmonton Oilers.
100%. FIFA Las Vegas says, "OMG." I'm gonna put it as he does. I don't know if there's kids watching right now, so we won't say exactly what Evander Kane said to the reporters in the room. If you wanna bleep around, sometimes you find out. Evander Kane might have been my favorite player to watch in this game tonight, and I tweeted it out there. I've got the numbers beside me here. Like towards the end of the game, it started to get a little bit chippy, Liam. Jay Woodcroft sends out Bukestad 6'6", Kane 6'2", CC 6'2", Costin 6'3", and Nurse 6'5". He could have had Desharnais out there. I know he did not go Desharnais. Those guys have size. They're tough. They're not going to back down. I mean, I think this is an element that we haven't seen from this Oilers team in a while. Obviously, they had the skill, but looking at the Oilers roster and height isn't everything. I'm not trying to say that's the point here, but only Derek Ryan and Kyler Yamamoto are under 6 feet on this Oilers team. They're a big team. When you look around the league, not too many teams can match them when it comes to size. I know Bukestad's a thinner guy, but, they're just going to roll with this one. A bigger group than we've seen in the past, a tough group that can hop out there if need be. And it's great to see in those situations that, Woodcroft, I'm sure Manson, Stewart, the guys that played in the NHL can be like, hey, let's set the tone here. Let's not mess around. McDavid's not going out there in the situation. If they want to start running around and start to kind of unravel, I think like Vegas did, the emotions were getting into it. The Edmonton Oilers can send a line out to end that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And like you said, they don't get pushed around, and we haven't seen a team like this for a while. Since I moved to Canada in 2010, I don't know if we've seen this. Like, I remember back then the Oilers would pick up guys like Darcy Hordichuk and trade for Ben Eager. What was the other guy's name? Was it Mike Brown with the mustache? And like Mark Fraser, all those guys. Like, the things about the Oilers players now who are tough is like they can actually play hockey and contribute in multiple different ways. But yeah, like Vegas, it felt like they didn't have guys to counter that. Like Brady McNabb, I think maybe would be a guy, but Colasar too is supposed to be there, like one of their tougher players, and got so frustrated, he got himself kicked out of the game, right? But yeah, the strength of this team is quite remarkable. And I think Gregor actually tweeted out today just saying like this team just isn't going to get pushed around. And I think that's what you need in the Stanley Cup finals too, right? In the playoffs, sorry, to get to the Stanley Cup finals is just to have that team. Just that, I guess the team is the best way to put it. That team atmosphere of like, we don't care if you're beating us on the scoreboard and we're going to beat you in this way too. Like just trying to be impactful in multiple different ways. And that's what this Oilers team brings. And I think Vegas found that out in multiple ways tonight.
Yeah, Vincent here on Facebook says Oilers don't have goons, but we now have both size and grit without losing speed and skill. So excited to watch this team play for the next few years. And that's exactly it. Like the guy who plays 7 minutes and fights is out of the NHL. They're still fighting. There always will be, I think.
Yep.
But you need to be able to play the game as well. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just kind of looking at that the roster here, like if need be, Warren Fogle, I don't think he's going to back down. I don't think that obviously Klim Kostin won't. The guys we mentioned, and then even Philip Broberg at the end there, not a small guy, right? 6'3", 200 pounds. Desharnais, like we talked about, Matthias Ekholm, he's the master of getting his shots in when he can. Like if you are to give him a cross check, he's got the number down, and the next time you're in the corner, he'll give it right back to you. It is really nice to see that the Oilers have that physical element to their game. But like Vincent said, and a lot of people here on YouTube as well, like, yeah, they can play every game. They can play the skill game. They can play the tough game. And it certainly works out very well for them. I want to touch on. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, before we go further away from this, I did get confirmation on something tonight.
Let's hear
William Carrier is the Vegas Golden Knights rat of this series. Confirmed, locked and sealed. Everyone in the city needs to know William Carrier is the enemy on the Vegas Golden Knights. Pretending to fight Zach Hyman, and then Hyman drops his gloves, doesn't fight. Goes to the box, chirps like he just beat the wheels off somebody, but again, didn't drop the gloves like he said he was going to. Then at the end of the game, punches Philip Broberg in the face, and then also tries to fight Cody Ceci. Two guys who will probably never, ever drop the gloves again in the NHL. So William Carrier, confirmed rat. Not as bad as Alex Iafallo, though.
To the ones going to the game on Monday, let them know. Yes. I agree with you. Like, he jumped in there on Hyman. McNabb's 6'4", 215. He doesn't need you to defend him, man. And Zach Hyman, I don't think Zach Hyman wants to fight in that situation. He's just, sending the message, we're not going to back down. That's all that was. And you're right. There we go. That's the rat on the Vegas Golden Knights. Watch out for him. And I mean, I don't know, but how awesome would it have been if Evander Kane was mic'd up there when the two of them were just jawing from the penalty boxes for like 38 minutes consecutively? I would have been so good to hear exactly what was going on. I don't know how much would they want or could go to air, but yeah, that's a very good point. We got a couple hundred people in the YouTube chat here. Where's Mr. Gavin? Gavin, I think he's down at Greta for the watch party, correct?
Yeah, he went out and enjoyed himself tonight, and I'm more than happy to take his spot because Gavin and Aaron are on the show more often, producing, doing everything, and taking up their Saturday night. So, sorry, Connor, I couldn't take you out as well. I couldn't do 3 jobs, but I'll take that side for at least a night.
Hey, I'm glad, because without you, I don't know what we'd be doing here. It'd be very hit and miss. But the Greta watch party, I mean, I've talked about it a few times here. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check out Oilers Nation on Instagram. Check out the stories. It's like half the boys down in Vegas, half the crew down at Greta. And it looks like an amazing time. If you do want to go hang out for the official watch party with Oilers Nation down at Greta, gretabar.com/book, or text 587-418-8507. They have prizes. They got a pop-up shop, so you can grab the shirt like I have up here, oil up. That comes in 2 colors. They got a bunch of other great things. There we go.
The blue one too.
Blue, if you like the darker look with the blue font, you can get that one. Make sure you check out nationgear.ca. Follow them on social media at nationgear. Great stuff, and that shirt's only $35. So you can get the gear. You can also watch the watch party, have some drinks. If you go, talk to Aaron, tell him I said he has to buy you a beer. I don't know if he'll back it up. I mean, Aaron's a good guy, so maybe he will. But yeah, that's where Gavin is. He's down at Greta. I bet if you go down there, I mean, Jasper Ave is going to be wild. So be safe if you're going to head down, but maybe drop into Greta, have a good time. I want to make sure we mention Klim Kostin, because what he did tonight. It's those things that just bring the group together. And blocking a shot looked like it hurt outside of the skate. Not much but padding there. Obviously, he went down. He was limping, but the puck went back to the point, and he was in the shooting lane, and he went down to block it once again, Liam. Like, he was fully committed. If it hits the foot again, it's going to happen. The bench realized it. They all stood up, stick taps for him. Those are the kinds of things you love to see. Klim Kostin, I mean, he's a favorite here. The nicknames are amazing. And just gutting it out like that in the playoffs, immediately down the tunnel, I'm sure it was probably like, hey, you got to keep the skate on. Skate's got to stay on, and at that point, just get back out there. And he did. Those are the things you love about the playoffs, because guys are willing to sacrifice it all.
Yeah, you're right. Like, a guy like that who I think at the end of the second period had like 4 minutes of game time, and a player of his caliber too, who's a former first-round pick, probably wants to go out there and rip a puck past who was it, Aiden Hill at the time, right, and score the goal again. But instead, he's in the defensive zone blocking shots, and that's the kind of commitment you need from everybody in the lineup. And yeah, Cleem the Dream, Mr. Cleem, the Clem Reaper. What else we got? Clem Shady. There's so many. Clem Kong, I think, is a new one.
Constant
Multiple. A man of
316.
many names. He's just a fan favorite, and doing stuff like that is just going to make him grow his personality grow so much more in the city. And you could see his teammates too. Like, I think could be anyone blocking that shot, but you see that from a guy, like I said, who is kind of parked on the bench of the night, but commits his body on the line. And it's just, you love to see it. You love to see it. And you make a good point about the trainers probably not telling him to take his boot off, because that would probably won't go back on. But also, I guess if we're talking about Cleem, one guy I wanted to give a shout out to, because I forgot to do it after game 6 when we did Oilers Nation every day, but Jack Campbell on the bench is an emotional just support guy. And I get it. Like, sometimes you get these goalies, all right, especially Campbell. Like, he came in this season wanting to be the starter. He wants to be in these games. But I noticed it after Skinner, his stick broke on the Philip Deneau goal. And you go over to the bench, and Jack Campbell, you can just see him kind of rallying him up, like being like, come on, man, like get it going, and like you can do it and all this stuff. Tonight he did it when all the boys were going down the dressing room after they fought everybody. Like, just good to have that kind of team spirit and someone who is there rallying you up, who you know wants to be out there so bad with everybody. I just really love to see that. So shout out to Jack Campbell. Because honestly, too, if it wasn't for Jack Campbell, we might not be here at the moment after his game 4 performance, right? So
100%. You're down 3-0. It would have been a 3-1 series. I totally agree with you. That's absolutely massive how much it turned around, and you need that from the backup goalie. Everyone's buying in, right? Okay, so we've got Cameron. What an absolute smacking that was. Keep up the momentum. Go Oilers from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you for tuning in. Melbourne, Australia. That means it's what, like noon, 2 o'clock on Sunday. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. We had, I believe it is Almut. I'm sorry if I butcher the name. Good morning from Germany. Hello. Take care of Alfonso Davies for us over there in Germany. Katie says Kulak was a beast again. Yeah, Kulak. I mean, he's been extremely impressive throughout these playoffs, and I think he's really elevated his game. We've got Quady says Klima, R.I.P. Yes, Pierre Klima, former Oiler, passed away. Yeah. Our condolences on that one. A tough loss for the Oilers. Scored a big goal in the Stanley Cup Finals in 1990. We also have Emily, from Melbourne, Australia too. Go Oilers, Emily. Cameron, you guys should be out celebrating. Go find Greta, Australia, and have a good time. At 12:38 p.m. on Sunday, so just afternoon. And we've also got great game from Cold Lake. First Nations, Roger, shout out to Cold Lake. Beautiful up there. This has become one of my favorite things when people just say, hello from, and then insert exotic location.
Well, you should have heard the one we had the other day, actually, Connor, on Oilers Nation every day. Sometimes, not to call people up, but I truly do wonder if these people are telling the truth sometimes, because this one kind of blew me away. But there was somebody listening from somewhere in Mexico. I can't remember where it was. And they said they were watching with their grade 1 class. And they put it on over like the lunch break or whatever it was. And the first person to finish their assignment that day gets the Connor McDavid jersey. That story sounds awesome. It just feels too good to be true that there's fans who like watch Tyler and I. Maybe I'm just a little mesmerized by it a little bit. But I thought that was really, really cool that somebody did that, I guess. And there's another one from Perth, Australia too. So shout out to everyone.
Sherry Lynn from Perth, Australia. Maggie from Manitoba. We've got David from Plainwell, Michigan. I love it. Let us know. We always give shout outs to people who tell us where they're from. We had a Mark on YouTube, Edmund Klim. Kyle says Klim on a whim, Mr. Klim, but I think that Mr. Clean sounds better for Mr. Clean almost. Let's see. We're going to just check out Ziggy. Hello, Ziggy. I'm not going to pronounce your name wrong. I nailed it. 100%. I'm confident in that one. On demand from Calgary, we've got Moo from Berlin, TB83 Niagara Falls, Kyle from Japan. That's awesome. Brandon, hello from Calgary, exotic version. You should be down at Greta, Brandon. I know they have one there. Buffy from Honolulu. Oh, we've got Katie from West Central Edmonton, Alberta. West Central. My fiance, I say that all the time. I'm South Central. I'm not all the way south. We're still Southern Central.
All right.
Creston, BC, Cal. We see someone in Beijing as well.
That was,
Or was
yeah,
that just
someone put that. That
yeah.
was me. I just wanted to be part of it.
I was like, are you replying to someone? That wouldn't make sense. Nico from Germany. Hello to everyone all over the world. Shout out to you guys for tuning in tonight. Also, shout out to Wilhock Beef Jerky, Alberta's best beef jerky. You can find them at one of their 3 locations, West Edmonton Mall, Leduc, or Spruce Grove. Find out more at wilhockbeefjerky.com. Let's talk about Stuart Skinner, because going into this game tonight, I mean, he should be more of a story than I feel like we've really gotten into it. 31 shots faced, 30 saves. Going into this series or into this game tonight, in his 7 appearances, I think he only had a save percentage over 903 of the games, so it was kind of hit and miss. I mean, it wasn't a instance where he had stolen them a game. But tonight, thought Stuart Skinner looked really good, and you talked about kind of carrying over momentum could. I think for Stuart Skinner, he's going to be feeling pretty good on the plane ride home.
Yeah, maybe for goalies, it could be a bit of a different recipe, right? Of just knowing what you did last game. And like, obviously, he's kind of been plagued by allowing so many goals. And then, yeah, to put on this big performance like he did. And the thing with me with goalies is I don't want Stuart Skinner to ever have to steal a game for us. And I know that's great to see and all that kind of stuff, but I never want to see that from the Oilers like Bobrovsky had to do for Florida, because that means you're probably getting buried by whoever the opponent may be, right? And I think tonight the Oilers just did a very good job of limiting chances against themselves, or at least high danger ones. And yes, he made some really good saves. The glove one, like we said, was good. He had another good one on the penalty kill, I believe. Yeah, when Jack Eichel on the power play kind of caught him up high, and he was able to stay tall and show that he's filling out the net, right? So I'm never really worried about Skinner, because you even look through the entire playoffs, how many of them have really been like, man, like, how did you let that one in? Like, there was one last game, and obviously the broken stick, and maybe there was one other in there, but like, I feel like his numbers are just kind of a reflection of the Oilers not being very good in front of him half the time. So for me, the Oilers were just better in front of him, and Skinner made the saves that he really, really needed to, which was crucial, obviously.
Big time. And yeah, I mean, the Oilers put him in some tough situations in a lot of those games. Sloppy defense led to them. But yeah, I don't get too worried about Stuart Skinner. I just, every time he lets in a goal, he puts his head down, says what he says, and then I think he shakes it off pretty quickly. Hello, we've got Mark from the exotic northern paradise of Bonnyville. How about those Pontiacs, Mark? Chris from Kingston, go Oilers, go. We've got East South Central. Who knows where that is? Marquee Marks is Indonesia. Is that real? That sounds really cool. Another one from Kingston, Ontario, and Satan's Basement. Satan hops on every once in a while. We'll confirm about that and see how true that is. What else should we mention here? Well, just quickly mention Oodle Noodle. Let's mention Oodle Noodle very quickly here, because in case you don't know, you can go to any Oodle Noodle location across the city here in Edmonton, pick up some noodles, and when you do so, you can also get an Oilers Nation sticker, which are very popular. So throw that on the vehicle. You get the sticker, you get the car flag. You know, everyone knows, and it's awesome. Liam, what part of the city do you live in? Don't go too specific, but are you a downtowner?
No, I'm in Shore Park.
Okay, never mind. So,
but there is you can get them from the Oodle Noodle in Shore Park, I believe. So, well, I've got one, so they should be there. So,
I think it's like Edmonton and surrounding areas. I just wanted to comment on the spirit in this city right now, and I think it would extend to Sherwood Park. On our pregame show, we had a couple guys join us from, I believe, Vancouver and Toronto, and they commented on, like, holy cow, everyone in this city wears Oilers jerseys and the car flags. Like, it's awesome going downtown. I think it's probably madness right now, but wherever I go, I drive from the south side to the west end daily, car flags everywhere. Like, playoff season, the best.
Yeah, it is the best, and you're right. It does trickle into Shore Park quite a bit. Like, I have a couple of stories I guess I can tell. Like, the other day I was walking around the neighborhood and I live in, and I'm always critical, Connor, of people who have lights outside of their house, because it just reminds me of Christmas so much. Like, and I don't really get it. But the other day I was walking around and I was going down the street, and I promise you, there was probably about 10 or 15 houses on this one street that were just lit up orange and blue from these lights. And I was just like, you know what? That's really cool. That's really, really cool to see that just like people are just so behind this team, and there's a belief behind it, right? And this city just lives off the heart. It's the heartbeat of the Edmonton Oilers. Like whatever that team does is the mood of what the next day will be in this city. And it's quite funny. And today I had to leave my house today to go and watch the game somewhere else because my TV was so delayed that I could hear my neighbors behind the back celebrate a goal. And then my roommates were also celebrating about 30 seconds after that. And then 30 seconds after that, I finally got to see the goal. And I drove to my parents' house, and it's probably about 5 minutes away from where I live. And I kid you not, there was maybe 4 cars on the road. It was dead. Like you could just tell it. Everyone was at home watching this game tonight, and it's just so dialed in. And before that, I was driving around, and it was so busy. And I thought, why is it so busy? I'm assuming it's because everyone was trying to get home to the game. So yes, just the vibes in the city right now, and the outskirts of the city too, in the suburbs are immaculate. I love it.
Which takes me back to my point. If your car's looking a little bare, you don't have a flag, you don't have a sticker, go to Oodle Noodle, get your noodles, get a sticker, and join the party because it's absolutely awesome. Maggie says, born and raised in AB, missed that Oilers camaraderie, 100%. There's just a vibe in the air. You strike up conversation with people at the store because you're both wearing your Oilers jersey. It's really great to see. Let's hop over back to the YouTube conversation. 230 of you in there right now. Make sure you hit that like button. Do the same on Facebook. Susan, so much fun. I've got 2 flags. I like the people that go 3 flags. You know, those are the diehards to me. And when you go 3 flags, you're really bringing it. 4 might be too much because you want to put your window down at some point. But those who have the 3 flags, those are the champs. So how about Leon Draisaitl? We should talk about it. 13 goals now in the playoffs. He has reached the point where last year the leading goal scorer in the entire playoffs were at. Nathan MacKinnon and Evander Kane had 13 goals. They led the way last year, and Nathan MacKinnon played 4 rounds. We're 8 games in, and Leon Draisaitl has tied that mark. So 13 goals. There's all sorts of records he can break if he keeps up like any of this pace. I mean, I didn't think that he could elevate his game anymore, but he just continues to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny, isn't it? We're 32 minutes into the show now, and we're like finally talking about Leon Draisaitl, and I completely forgot about what he had done because it feels like we just grown numb to what he does almost every single night, right? Like Leon Draisaitl right now is the best player on the Edmonton Oilers, which probably means he's the best player in the world at the moment, which is an absolute wild statement to make. I made that statement maybe a month or so ago, like kind of coming down the stretch, and I was a little unsure if I wanted to put that out into the atmosphere. And it was no disrespect to Connor McDavid, but man, this guy is just taking his game to another level and just makes you wonder what he had been kind of going through with maybe recovering from injuries at the start of the season, right? Even through the All-Star break a little bit too. And now this is like fully healthy Leon Draisaitl, and he is scary to watch. What does he have now? 6 goals against the Vegas Golden Knights. And it's just, boy, oh boy. Like, I think the record in the series, they said on Sportsnet, was 12 in a series. I mean, how can you doubt that he won't hit that, right? I mean, it's been 2 games and he has 6. So, yeah, it's nuts. And also on the broadcast, I thought it was funny too. They were talking about Chandler Stevenson. He's like, he's leading the Vegas Golden Knights with 5 goals. It's like, well, up until McDavid scored his 5th goal, that also would have been second on the Oilers. So it's a hell of a run by Leon Draisaitl. Let's hope it kind of comes to something at the end that everyone can celebrate with. Something else I don't want to say right now, but hopefully it means something at the end too.
Oh, you bring up Chandler Stevenson. That he's 29. Like that's crazy to me because I remember watching his older brother with the Oil Kings, Colton, and he retired, I think, because of concussion problems. And they're like, well, but you got to watch his younger brother Chandler, who's gone on to have one heck of a career so far. So, but yeah, it's unbelievable. You're right. We're nearing the end of this episode of Oilers Nation After Dark, presented by Boston Pizza and the new Fanalytics playoff menu, and we haven't even talked about them. Like, there's just so many things positive going on. My calculations, with 2 goals tonight, he's now up to 17 points. Connor McDavid now with 3 points up to 15, and Evan Bouchard 2 more points tonight, puts him up to 4. No, wait, is he at 15 now? Either way, I think he's like tied to Matthew Tkachuk for points, and no one else is near them. I mean, Evan Bouchard is another guy who just and call him a power play merchant. I don't think Oilers fans need to be offended by it. I tweeted earlier, be power play sickos, enjoy it, laugh at it, because they're dominant. But Evan Bouchard just continues to impress.
Yeah, Evan Bouchard is taking his game to another level. And for me, he's the reason the power play can click at such a high rate. I actually think without him, they wouldn't even be where they are, because no disrespect to Tyson Berry, he just doesn't have the skill set that Evan Bouchard has, right? So he is probably the second most important player on that power play, I think, at the moment. And McDavid obviously won, Bouchard and Dry, but it's hard to even rank the three of them because they're all so essential to what this power play needs and this team needs. And yeah, Evan Bouchard, it's just, what do you get? You got 2 assists tonight, you said? Or just the one? I think he had one taken away.
Oh, well, that would be
He got
tough.
it taken away on the first goal.
Yeah, so I think he finished with 1 goal, 1 assist.
Yeah, so Hyman had 3 assists tonight then, because I think they said on the radio when I was driving back.
You know what? I think, yeah. So McDavid's power play goal, Bouchard assisted, and he had the goal. So, okay, only two points. Yeah. So that puts him up to 14. So I think he's still 1 behind Matthew Tkachuk. Now I have to go back and delete my tweet about that one. But yeah, he was drafted where he was for a reason, and he's starting to get into that spot. Let's not talk about the contract negotiation that's going to come out of it. I wanted to document how much McDavid and Draisaitl played in the third period. And, just under 4 minutes for McDavid, just over 4 minutes for Leon Draisaitl. Zach Hyman played about 3 minutes. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins 5 minutes. Then Darnell Nurse played his usual 7.5. But obviously, when the game was getting chippy, we talked about the Oilers put out the size. But good on the Oilers. You get that early lead. And you don't have to put them out there in garbage time. Let some of the other guys play, works through some things. I thought maybe Nuge might get a chance to play with McDavid and Draisaitl 5-on-5 just to try to get him going, because they need him at some point to get going. Not to be negative and put a little bit of that in here, but if he can start contributing offensively, it's going to go a long way. But what a luxury, hey, at the end of the game when you can just say, you know what, let's run lines 2, 3, 4 a little bit more, and you guys sit back, enjoy.
Yeah, it really is nice to put yourself so far ahead in a game where you can take the foot off the pedal a little bit and allow your stars to rest. And it's funny, isn't it? Like sometimes we come and do our shows and we talk about like, is it a good idea for the Oilers to play McDavid and Draisaitl 24 minutes last night? Like, was it worth it and all this stuff? And then you come to games like tonight where I'm looking here and I've actually refreshed my screen 3 times just to make sure this is correct. But tonight, Connor McDavid played 9 minutes and 46 seconds at 5-on-5. There's his rest, right? Like that's These are the games. Like, they're not coming every single night, obviously, but there's always going to be one game in the playoffs where it's a bit of a blowout, either side of things, which will then allow you to rest a couple of guys. And this was that game for the Oilers. But yeah, Connor McDavid, 9:46. It was only 4 players who had fewer minutes 5-on-5 than him: Vinny Desharnais, Bouchard, Klim Kostin, and Broberg. Very funny. I thought that was very funny. And also shout out to Warren Foegele. I thought Foegele was pretty good tonight. Hard on the forecheck, and I'm just looking at his advanced stats here. 9-3 in shots for in a game. So very positive output for Foegele. And I think just the depth overall for this team was present. And it's not always about scoring goals. It's about having a positive impact on the game. And I thought every single Oiler did that tonight, from Connor McDavid to Philip Broberg.
Every once in a while, I like to show a picture. I don't know if you guys saw the old lady, sorry, maybe not old, but the lady giving the finger to Evander Kane. Well, the Oilers Twitter might have won tonight. They got a picture of him blowing a kiss and put 5-1 there. So Evander Kane, we talked about Carrier and what he might be to the Oilers fan base. Evander Kane, you'll love him when he's on your team. You hate him when he's against your team. And I think he'll probably get some boos next time he's back at Vegas. But yeah, 100% things you like to see. And one more thing I want to get to. I don't want to take too much of your time here, Liam. We stayed on pretty long, but after a game like tonight, it's fun. Everyone's pretty happy in the chat. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We always appreciate it. Hit that like button. But on Connor McDavid's goal, you scout. What was Shea Theodore doing? Was he trying to toe drag Connor McDavid on the blue line? And like, what are you trying to do there, my man? And McDavid stick lifts him. The goal he scores, they're like, yeah, it was a soft goal. I don't think so. I think Laurent Brossoit had no idea what he's going to do. You don't want to be beat with that shot upstairs. I thought that was an amazing goal by Connor McDavid, but the defensive play, Shea Theodore, I'm going to question that like decision. Just get it in deep. Don't try to toe drag the best player in the world when he's attacking you. What did you
Yeah.
see on that play?
Well, I think from a scouting perspective, that would be going in the negative notes. But yeah, like I'm not sure what you really think on a play like that. That maybe that's a guy that's just thinking like, man, I'm pretty good at hockey, and then goes to do that and realizes, oh shit, this guy's
Yeah.
pretty good too. But yeah, a bold play to say the least, especially from a guy like Shea Theodore, who again is a very, very good hockey player.
Mm-hmm.
So you would expect him to maybe have a bit more intelligence like that with the puck, but my notes would say something like tried one move too many, hockey IQ question mark. See how it progresses.
I love it. I love it. This is going on Sports Center tonight here. Oh, it's going the other way. Oh no. Just a couple of comments here from Jay Woodcroft after this one. This comes from Daniel Nugent-Bowman of The Athletic. He says, there's a reason they took the penalties they did. It's because we played at a certain pace. Totally agree. Put them in into those situations. And Jay also said, I was proud of our team's togetherness, unity. Everyone loved everyone. And yeah, they were out there today. Strong unit. And we'll see what happens. You know what? If you were trying to cash in on Betway tonight, and you threw money down on like points for McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, easy money. I tweeted at this point, if you don't bet on a Draisaitl goal, you're an idiot. And that was kind of rude, but it's true. Like, just put the money down. Yeah, it might not be the biggest return, but he's going to score. He might score twice, and the payout, it will be minimal, but it's still a win. Ethan says, Liam reads well. What were you reading, Liam?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a very good reader. I'll be honest. I buy a lot of books. They look good on the shelf, not so good in my hands. I'm currently reading David Beckham's book, if anybody's interested. But the funny thing about David Beckham's book, and I'll go on this a little quickly. So, do you know at the front of books they get? I believe it's called the dedication is the official term for it. They say like to my darling wife and kids or whatever. So this one says for David Beckham's book, it says to my darling wife Victoria and my two kids Romeo and Brooklyn. Well, David Beckham has 4 kids. Called the other 2 are called Harper and Cruz, just to show how old this book is. Okay. So I believe it goes up until about 2005, and he has not released a second book. So a lot of mystery going on in what David Beckham has done from 2005 to 2023. I suppose we'll never know.
I would love to know what exactly happened going into buying the Miami MLS team, so book 2 will be captivating when it comes out. QF Pro talking right now about I think the Discord. Great chat there. I'm too dumb to really get into it. I like to check in every once in a while. I was mentioned in there, and then I tried to comment about it, and it said read only, so I just gave up. And so yeah, QF Pro on Twitter, check him out. He's got the link to the Discord. Lots of Oilers conversation if you want to join in there. And yeah, Genesis says it's amazing. It's literally amazing. Zachary, I was literally heartbroken after Costa went to the locker room. So glad he came out after that huge block. Yeah, we talked about that. That's firing people up 100%. And someone, I think Ziggy wants you to say Melbourne.
He said I said it Melbourne. I'm not stupid.
I was like Melbourne. Well, you know what? We can go back and watch the tape and see exactly what happened. Okay, one more time here. Of course, this is Oilers Nation After Dark, brought to you by Boston Pizza and their new playoff menu, powered by Fanalytics. Zach usually has some really good Fanalytics when he's on here. Me, not so much. But how about this? Evander Kane had 24 penalty minutes tonight. Nick Bjugstad, 12, which is half of 24. And it's a pretty impressive number. Klim Kostin had 5. Brett Kulak had 5. Ekholm and Desharnais chipping in with a couple. So the penalty minutes were great tonight. And I know it doesn't really matter, but it was good to see the fisticuffs fly a little bit. You want that emotion in the playoffs, and tonight certainly had it. And if you want to go grab some great food from Boston Pizza, I mean, hard to go wrong with the pizza flight. That's 3 6-inch pizzas. That's a pretty good choice. But the triple play, Bandera bread, Thai bites, cactus cut. Oh, baby, that's a good one. And the winged ribs, they look delicious as well. So if you're looking, it's still early, you want to go grab a drink and maybe a bite to eat, check out a local Boston Pizza. They keep us going here.
I'll give you some Boston Pizza fan analytics, Connor, if you'd like to hear them.
I'd love to.
These will not scream too much to you, but I just want to throw this out there. 0 goals, 0 assists, +1, 2 penalty minutes, 2 hits in 11 minutes and 16 seconds with 0 turnovers, Vincent Desharnais. Great bounce back game from Vinny, and I'm glad he's not a headline tonight heading into game 3, and he was able to go out there, and Woodcroft and Manson and Stu and Gulletts and whoever else is on that bench showed trust in him tonight, and he went out there and he did a good job. He was essentially invisible, which is what you like to see from a 6'7" defenseman. Didn't play a lot. Good to see it. So I just want to give a little shout out to Vinny, because with Vinny, we winny. So let's keep it up, Vinny. Hope everything keeps going well.
Yeah, we talked about that last game, and I think I said like the KISS method, and it's rude, but keep it simple, stupid. Like, don't try to do too much. Play within your limits, and he certainly did that tonight. The coaching staff has the faith and belief in him. So do his teammates, and I'm really interested to see how he progresses. A 26-year-old rookie. It's going to be interesting to see what he does next year, but 100% this year. He certainly he rebounded strong tonight. That's good on you to point that one out. Ziggy says that vodka beer mimosa is pretty wild too. Genesis, I might go to BP's by myself tomorrow just because. I mean,
why not?
You're never by yourself at Boston Pizza. There's friendly staff, great people. Maybe get a brute. If they have the fishbowl, oh man, you get the fishbowl. That's a good time.
Do you know the best part about Boston Pizza outside of the Fanalytics menu, which actually is amazing? We had it with Christopher Palmer when we went for our lunch. But just every single day, you can go to Boston Pizza and have like a great special on something. Wing Wednesday, Pasta Tuesday, Fishbowl Friday. Like you said, they've got the classic Brute. Like you can go to Boston Pizza and always know what you want to get. And that's why it's just one of my favorite. It's like a staple, I feel like, in everybody's life. Not an ad, but also an ad.
It is, but this from the heart. I was really proud when that happened. When me and my buddies for probably 6 years, like from 19 to 25, give or take, went to the Boston Pizza every Friday, Saturday night across the street from West Edmonton Mall. Great time. And then we'd walk over to Hudson's or whatever it might be that night, maybe the casino. Good times. They always took care of us, and I recommend it to you. Costin Pizza, yes.
Me and my friends would have a similar one. The Boston Pizza on Y Road in Sherwood Park. We went there so often that they expected us, and they would reserve a table for us. And also, once we got in there, they would allow us to change the music and put our own music on, and just kind of have our own little thing on us. So, great vibes at Boston Pizza. Great vibes.
Like a neighborhood pub, always there for you. Go get a bite to eat. Tell them Oilers Nation sent you. And I don't know what the outcome will be, but you'll get some good food and good drinks, as I said. All right, let's do this quickly here, Liam. Betway pick. Let's get a score prediction for Monday, as well as a Betway, I guess, prop bet, I would say.
All right. So do you ever wrote down what we had? I think I had a 6-3 game tonight, so I was a little bit off, but I was kind of close. But I will go with a Oilers victory. I do think it'll be a lot tighter this time around, so I'm going to go with a 5-3 win. I think there might be an empty net in there too, but I think kind of maybe a late goal in the third period gets the Oilers the win. And I will go with a Connor McDavid 3-point night as my prop bet if I can find that one. I think you can get those on Betway. I think I've seen it.
Yeah, over 2.5 goals, I believe would be a good one to do. So I only wrote down my prediction because I'm selfish, But I had a 5-3 win, so I was off, but they got the job done. They scored 5 goals. Defense was better than I thought they would be. I also had a Derek Ryan goal. But, I mean, it turns out he is the key to victory. I mean, he doesn't play, they lose. They look sloppy defensively. He comes back. That accountability level, he holds everyone to on the bench. They play better defense, and they win the game. So Derek Ryan, key contributor tonight. I don't know. You know what? I'll just keep doing this until he finally gets a goal. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, anytime goal score. Like I said, there was a part of me that had hoped that he'd get out there with McDavid and Draisaitl, even if it's just a tap-in. Similar to when Evander Kane came back from injury and, he was put on that top line to get a goal and try to, just get the flow going, open it up. I think I'm going to go with a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goal anytime, and I think 5-2 I'm going to go with. A 5-2 Oilers win. And I'm envious of anyone who goes to that game because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, the vibes will be buzzing. I think people like myself, I don't know about you, Connor, I'm very jealous of the people who are in Vegas right now celebrating this Oilers victory. I know where the guys are. They're probably at a craps table, but I know they made their way to, I think it's called Beer House, which is just kind of down the road. And then right next to it is Tom's Urban, which were nice enough to let us host our watch party when we went for the nation vacation. So I just know those places are loaded with Oilers fans right now, and I hope everyone's having a fantastic time. And maybe next year, Connor will be there too. We'll get the invite.
You know what? If we take Oilers Nation After Dark to Vegas, be one hell of a trip. AMA might be able to hook us up with that one.
Yeah.
And the best part about it, it's 8:00 there. So you've got all night and you can have a really good time. We got our own predictions coming in here. Let us know on the chat. What do you think is going to happen on Facebook? Maggie says 4-1 Oilers, Dries on a roll. Ziggy says 7-1 Oilers, Hyman Hattie. We got Here's Johnny with a 6-2 Oilers victory. Jared says 5-2 Oil. Vinny hat trick. That would be quite the payday. Christopher Palmer, 4-3 Oilers. TB83 says Nuge 1-1. Kyle going crazy. 11-3 Woodcroft hat trick. Now we're just getting off the rails here with these predictions.
3 challenges won.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they could do that. Zachary Davies, 6-0 Costin double Hattie. Nuge game-winning goal. RNH Gordie Howe hat trick. Jonesy says Nugent King could use a statement game. Rick says wife's really mad now. Don't know what's happening there, but take her Boston pizza, cheer her up. Or maybe you buy her some Wilhock beef jerky, Alberta's best beef jerky. They'll take orders of any size. You could buy a massive quantity. Only the finest tasting meats earn the Wilhock name. Find out more at wilhockbeefjerky.com. Genesis says 4-3 Oilers. So a lot of optimism going into Game 2. It's going to be a 6:30 start on Monday for Game 3. Let's be real, probably 6:50, 6:52. So if you're someone
allegedly 6:30 start.
I mean, I got to be honest. We wrap up the pregame show, Tom Gazzola and I just can make it home in that time. So I like it. It's really benefiting me right now.
Do you do the pregame show from the brew house at the Ice District?
No, that's just Tom. I'm back at the studio.
Oh, okay.
Pushing buttons, yeah.
It must be busy down there.
Sounds like it looks like a good time. The Moss Pit, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much I'd enjoy it. Maybe if it was 2006, I was, more into that. I think it'd be a blast. Now I'm safe here. I can, maybe have a tea after or something. But Liam, one day you got to get out there and just soak it all in. Have you been down to the Moss Pit?
No, I'm kind of with you. That's not my vibe. Like I love just being able to actually watch the game. Like when we went to Greta the other day, that was a lot of fun because I was kind of dialed in on the game. They had the big screen I could watch from, but yeah, I don't know if I love the idea of just like staring up into the clouds for 60 minutes, right? Watching this game. So I'm sure when people are down there, it's a lot of fun, and I would probably eat my words if I did go and do it. But for me, I like watching with my dad the most, and just like my friends and whoever else, right? But I don't know. And plus, people are getting the fingers bit off now, apparently. So crazy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, people get pretty lubricated, have a good time. Ethan says, I like to eat inside. Yeah, I get that. People like washrooms and that are close, and you don't have to wait in line for. A few more predictions here. We've got Christopher saying, shout out to Leduc Wilhock. Ooh, good beef jerky out there. We know that for sure. We've got FIFA Las Vegas 4-1 Oily Boys. Jenna Rose says 3-1 Oilers. QF Pro 2-0 because we're mirroring the Flame series last year. Tyson 5-2 win. Nuge scores twice. Trial scores twice. And Darnay gets his first NHL goal. Ziggy also says 10 plus power play minutes. Mike says Darnay is due for redemption. It's a goal. The big lad needs one. And Christopher says, Liam, it was great watching at Greta with you. Did you take bananas into Greta?
Yes, I did, and I ate them all. I think I took in 4 bananas with me, and they were gone by the end of the night. I mean, that game 6 was a stressful one, to say the least. So, yeah, those are swallowed back pretty well. Yeah, I'm a pretty emotional watcher, Connor. I like to move around. There was one point in Greta, I just moved my seat and was crouching on the floor, and I had my elbows on the table. So I get into it. Maybe I'm a little bit more entertaining than I thought to watch. But yes, Christopher Palmer was close by watching me.
Do you get angry? Like, would you throw something or air punch or anything?
No, I'm not quite like that. I will point and yell and that kind of stuff, but I'm not a violent man, Connor. I like to keep my feet on the ground and make sure everyone's just having a good time with it. But maybe if I'm yelling.
You handle your stress very well by eating bananas. So I think that's something we should all try to work into our life a little bit. We just went through our predictions there. That's for Betway 19 plus. Bet responsibly. All right, Liam, let's wrap this one up. Big shout out to all our sponsors: Wilhock Beef Jerky, Cornerstone Insurance, AMA Travel. If you want to go to the game in Vegas, maybe reach out to AMA. They can help you out. Of course, Nation Gear. I've got the shirt beside me. Liam's got one underneath his jersey. Beautiful shirts, $35. NationGear.ca is where you can find those. Also, if you want to watch that game, maybe AMA, they're sold out. Everyone's gone to Vegas. You need a place to watch. You can go down to Greta Bar on it'll be game 5, whenever that ends up being. GretaBar.com/book is the best way to get your reservation. Wild time. You can also grab gear there. And, of course, Betway 19 plus, bet responsibly, and Boston Pizza, the playoff menu powered by Fanalytics. We've talked that up because it's just awesome, and, Boston Pizza is great. So check that out. Oodle Noodle as well. If you're, got to Oodle Noodle closer than Boston Pizza, stop in there as well. Get some noodles, get a sticker, throw it on your car, and we're gonna wrap this one up because now I'm just rambling and I want Boston Pizza and Oodle Noodle. So that's what happens typically on this show. For Liam, I'm Connor Halley. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. Really appreciate it. Hit that like button before you close down your tab, and we will talk to you on Monday, hopefully after an Oilers win here on Oilers Nation After Dark, powered by Boston Pizza and Fanalytics.